will be providing commentary on the conclusion of Selby and Zhao Guodong. I'm very pleased to be in the company of Joe Johnson for this one. And as we keep saying, and we're not trying to hype this up, we're not trying to build the drama unnecessarily, everyone knows that Graeme Dott has a really stubborn streak, and if he can win the first couple of frames today, who knows?
Yeah, and like Rob was saying just before they came out, that he won 3 of the last 4 frames, and that in itself is a feat. He lost 2 frames he shouldn't have done, and that's a 4-frame difference. If you take them 2 frames off of Hawkins, gets him to 8, and put 2 frames onto Dott, that gets him to 8. So it would be all square without those 2 real steals that Hawkins got. Chance.
Yes, I must tell you folks that Joe and myself did the morning and the afternoon sessions yesterday. So we went off for a meal last night, and when the score came through and it was 9-3 to Hawkins, we were wondering whether we might not be required today. But, as Joe said, Dott then made breaks of 65, 59 and 105 to trail only 9-6. And you can make a case out that he might have won the closing frame of the evening as well.
Managed to dodge that red on the right side of the table. Well, I'm certainly glad that you mentioned we went for a meal last night, Phil, because I told my wife I went straight back to the hotel. I'm in big trouble.
Well, it was a very early meal.
That red over the left corner causing problems. Can't see enough of it to pot it. Got to try and cover it if he comes off the side of the pack of reds. Try and use the blue and green to cover that red. Well, decided to go over the other side of the table, and that could be a plant to the left corner. Just coming around to have a look at it. Yeah, looks pretty set to the pocket.
Dott tried to become the 3rd Scot into the quarterfinals, following in the footsteps of John Higgins and Stephen Maguire.
Yeah, the problem he's got here, Graeme Dott, he can see the reds, but he needs to be hitting the other side of those 2 reds because they will reverse. So if he hits the right-hand side of the reds, it will throw it more to the side cushion. So he might play the other red onto the reds. Yeah, didn't quite have the cue power to get that cue ball back for the blue. He needs a good kiss. Oh, and he didn't get it.
6.
I thought he played it just a little bit too hard. He is on the red to the left corner. He could have done with the middle pocket bump there. The red into the left corner looks to be a little too straight, and this red from the black spot is very dangerous if it doesn't go in, but it's gone in, and that was a brave shot that for Graeme Dott.
7.
Cue ball was going into the reds. He was going to be leaving all kinds of things on. Could take the black. Could take the green. Problem with taking the black, that he was always leaving himself with this difficult red along the cushion.
14.
Again, this has to go in. Yeah, there was pressure on it. He knew he was leaving a red to the middle. Had he missed it,
14.
that was a chance.
Had to hit the shot crisply for positional reasons. And when you hit the ball so hard, that kind of shot has to be so accurate, Joe.
Yeah, it does. And, well, Barry Hawkins got a chance here with the red to the baulk corner. The red to the left middle. Maybe the black doesn't go to that right corner pocket. So having to take this more difficult red to the corner. These are the type of shots that Barry Hawkins normally so good at. Screw back off the cushion for the black. Couldn't have played it any better. And look at this now, great chance for Barry Hawkins. Made it look easy.
Certain players are intimidated by the crucible.
8.
Some wilt here. There's no doubt about that. Others embrace it and thrive. Hawkins is one of those.
Yeah, he seems to save his best snooker for the crucible, that's for sure. He likes the longer matches, and whoever he plays, they're going to have to play well to beat him. And he seems to get stronger as the tournament goes on, as he settles into the tournament. He's got a great technique. Brings the cue all the way back and through the ball straight.
15.
Now, if he could come down for the two reds closest to the right corner pocket, that would free the black into both pockets. He's got the angle to play that shot, just screw between the reds. Leave the cue ball close to the cushion. It's a little heavy. A little heavy. That was a poor positional shot from Barry Hawkins to leave himself straight on this red. He used to play a big screw shot here now. And didn't pop the red as he wanted.
21.
And that's why he's finished up with a tough black. The red went in off the far angle. It needed to go in straight. It was the shot previous, though, to leave himself with that straight red.
They make you feel so much better. Right into the middle of the pocket. He pinged that one.
Yep, good shot, but can he see the red that he played for? Can he see enough of it? No, having to take the red down the cushion. And made that one look easy, but that cue ball needs to slow down.
29.
Choice of two reds to play for. One to the right corner, one to the left corner. Now, if he can pot this red, stay on the black, the frame
34.
should be his for the taking. But this isn't a gimme, this shot. That red on the left side cushion just coming into play. So may play a different type of positional shot for the black. Yeah, that's a good shot. Just to stun past the red. It's a big frame, this, and both players know it. Oh, he's missed the black off the spot. Incredible.
35.
But the pressure is beginning to tell. Could have played for the red to the left centre.
Yes, he potted so many pressurised balls in that break, and then a routine one went astray.
Unfortunately for Barry Hawkins, he didn't get ideal on the next red. This is another tough one, and could leave the red on if he misses it. It's a big shot. No. Played, and that tells you how he's feeling, because he played the cue ball right down the table. He didn't fancy potting this, and that's why he played the cue ball all the way down the table in case he missed. He would have been on the black, so it was good thinking from Graeme Dott. Well, does that make up for that easy black? I think it does.
1.
Cracking pot. Got the cue ball where he wanted it as well. Got the easy black to follow. Well, the kiss could have been kinder. He is on a red to the right middle. Didn't want the kiss on the blue.
9.
Now, can he pop the blue? If not, then it's just a little roll up behind the yellow. Just the snooker. Good touch.
Ready, Hawkins, 9.
Yes, if the 5 remaining reds had been grouped together, say, behind the pink, then this shot might have been not too troublesome for Dott, but with the reds spread out like this, headache. Let me quickly tell you, while he's thinking about this, Mark Selby has begun in tremendous style on the other table. A century break, winning the first frame of the day against Xiao Guodong to lead 11-6.
Yes, he's in big trouble. The red by the right side cushion. If you could get him behind that red and try and leave the cue ball on the black cushion, that could be an option. The same applies to the red over the left side of the table. If you could get him behind it. So yeah, that's where he'd like to come in towards the red and behind it. Now he could play it slow, try and rest up to the red, or play it a little bit more speed, something like that. Catch the red from the cushion. Oh, he's missed it.
Foul, the miss. Ready, Hawkins, 4.
34 points in the game. I'm in big trouble.
Ready?
Yeah, that's a very good shot, coming in behind the red like that. That's the only place really where Hawkins hasn't got an easy red. That red is going close to that left corner, but he's managed to cover it. He needed a little bit of luck there, and he got it. The red by the pink spot could be on to the left corner. The problem is that he could leave this red that's closest to the pocket, could leave it on. Very, very close. And got the cue ball into a spot where he hasn't left anything easy for Graeme Dott. Played it with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball to take it over that side of the table.
Tactically astute, Hawkins, and when he gets in amongst the balls, a heavy scorer. Now that, plus the fact he can knock in balls from distance on a regular basis, makes him a really good all-round proposition.
Yes, I think he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan the last time he played him. Phil Yates would probably know better than I.
And I think, Joe, that match is relevant to the contest today. In the corresponding round of the World Championship last year, Hawkins beat O'Sullivan 13-12 in an absolute humdinger.
Couldn't have played any better, both of them. It was a cracking match. And that's a cracking red.
The only problem was, it took so much out of Hawkins that the next match against Marco Fu, he turned up and made a very poor start, and although he tried to recover, couldn't quite do it. Ended up being beaten 13-11 by Fu.
Yeah, wasn't he something like 7-0 down or something? I can't remember exactly, but he was down a long way the first session, and that was because of how much he'd given in the O'Sullivan match. Completely agree with you. But there's a great chance here now of taking this opening frame.
5.
Yes, he was 9-1 down to Fu.
Yeah.
So that's why he wants to come through today, having expended the minimum amount of mental energy.
Played for the red to the right middle. Could have played through the red nearest the left corner pocket.
12.
But just needs this red.
13.
And it's going to be 11-6.
So, Joe, apart from the very surprising missed black off its spot from Hawkins, he's played a pretty good frame here.
He's played a very good frame, and it was just that missed black, as you say, and it could have been just a lapse of concentration, just not taking it. Maybe took it for granted, but he certainly made up for it a couple of shots later when he knocked in that terrific long red with the black over the pocket.
On the frame.
Doesn't really matter about the black.
No, Dott remains in his chair, and the hole he finds himself in has just got a little deeper. And the reason for that, Hawkins now leads 11-6. Welcome back, everyone. Barry Hawkins breaks off in frame number 18, needing just 2 more to put a lid on this. One of Dott's great qualities, he's feisty. He's a fighter, but coming back from this deficit now, that seems unlikely, Joe.
Yes, it's unlikely, but it has been done before. I seem to remember Neil Robertson being something like 11-5, 11-6 down the year he won the championship. He'd booked out of his hotel room, I believe. He was playing Martin Gould, I think. Great long red again. And if he's on the pink, that is a little fortunate. Doesn't look like the pink goes, but the blue does. And the way he's cueing, just needs to bring the cue ball back a foot or so to be on reds into the left corner. And straight away, great chance. And nothing Graeme Dott did there was wrong. Played a good safety.
Seven.
I was privileged a couple of months ago to be at another of the great iconic snooker venues, Preston Guildhall, when Barry Hawkins won the World Grand Prix. He defeated Ryan Day in the final, 10-7. And it was one of the great performances
14.
of the season. He made breaks of 97, 85, and 5 centuries, including a 1-4-1.
Well, it just reinforces what I was saying. earlier that he's certainly world champion material.
15.
And such a nice guy as well. Very unassuming.
Well, I always say this because I genuinely think it's true. When he
22.
lost to O'Sullivan in the 2013 final, although he was beaten 18-12, the standard of his snooker there would have won him many finals here in the past.
Needs a lot of side on the ball, and he
23.
got it. And he's got a nice angle here to go into them. Look at the side on the cue ball here. Coming out for the black. Nice angle to go into them. And he's played that well. Look how the cue ball stopped dead with all that whiz on the cue ball.
30.
Look at the screw on the cue ball there, stopping it dead in the middle of the table, giving him choice of reds. Doesn't want to see
31.
the winning line too early, though, and put himself under pressure.
I like that, Joe. Whiz. Is that a technical term?
It's a Sackville Street term. Again, choice of reds he can play for here. Could play for the red into the left corner or come across the table for choice of two reds. A little hard for the one down the cushion and not straight enough on this
33.
red. You may have to go back up for the blue. Yeah. Just came a little
34.
too far. A little bit too much adrenaline in the shot. The same thing applied there. But there are reds that will go into that right corner. In fact, really, they're queuing up to be potted in there. Pot the blue with left-hand side on the cue ball. Should check it for those three reds. Well, he's on the red to the right middle. I'm not sure if he played for that, but if he did, that was an excellent positional shot. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's so nicely on it. Again, played that absolutely perfectly. And now in ideal position with a 40-point lead. His heart will be going here. Lots of top spin on the cue ball for that shot to gain the right side of blue.
46.
They have played at the Crucible before, these two. First round
50.
of the 2009 championship. Hawkins led going into the final session, 5-4, lost 10-8. The way things are going here, Joe, it's almost impossible there's going to be a repeat of that.
Yeah, he's queuing so well. And I was about to say, you know, if this pink goes in, he's going to win this frame, no problem. Nothing that Graeme Dott could do about this. He played a good safety shot, Barry Hawkins knocked in a terrific long ball. Followed it with a good blue to the baulk corner. And never looked in trouble since. A red and a black will leave Graeme Dott needing snookers. If you can't get to the black, easy enough to screw up for the blue. Just kissing the other red if he plays for the black.
61.
Well, he made sure of being the right side of the colours by playing for the baulk colours, which is easy enough to get back down for the reds, of which he's going to need one more.
We're on the verge of 12-6 here. I can tell you Mark Selby does lead Zhao Guodong 12-6 on the other table after making a century in the first frame of the afternoon. Selby's just cleared up with 73 in the second frame of the day. The afternoon proceedings at the Crucible today, Joe, might be very brief indeed.
Well, not if Graeme Dott has anything to say about it, because
69.
he won't give up no matter what score he is behind. Played a very good safety shot in this frame, and there's nothing you can do when your opponent knocks in a cracker. Knocked him one good long red off of his safety and won the frame from it. Snooker doesn't get any better than that.
$84. 85.
Surprisingly, given his domination, the one thing he hasn't done in this match, Hawkins, is make a century.
I think that's going to change here.
92.
If he does get to three figures, it would be his 30th century of the season.
Cue ball didn't check enough, but a kind kiss.
97.
The century proves elusive, but it's only a mild irritation to Barry Hawkins. The reason for that, he's on the threshold of yet another place in the quarterfinals of snooker's biggest championship. Welcome back to the Crucible Theatre, where Barry Hawkins just wants to put the finishing touches to what's been, for him, a very satisfying match. I think it would be an exaggeration to say he's played his best, but he certainly deserved his 12-6 lead. Dott hasn't been in a world ranking event quarter-final this season. He's low on confidence, and I think at times that's come to the fore.
Where's it going to finish? Well, not good for Graeme Dott. The red may go to the middle, but it's a tough one. Does it go? No. Well, he could have played down the table there and put Hawkins in trouble. And that's where he finds himself now. Well, there's a red to the right corner. Could screw that red in, come round the back of the black. The way he's playing, if he knocks one of these in, the balls are spread beautifully. Yeah, and a good kiss to leave himself on the blue. Or has he come just a little bit too far? Well, he could take the green or brown on here, but he doesn't want to leave Graeme Dott an easy chance. So he may finish up playing the safety. The way the balls are spread, if Graeme Dott did get in with an easy chance, you'd fancy him to score heavy. So if he does play to pot the brown, has to go in this. No, not taking any risks, and I don't blame him. He doesn't want Graeme Dott to get his confidence with a century break. If he's going to get something,
Hawkins 1.
try and make him earn it.
Yes, Hawkins wants to get out of there as quickly as possible, get his feet up metaphorically and think about tomorrow.
Cue ball's close.
Foul.
Didn't catch the red as he wanted. And this red, I think, may be cuttable to the middle, but certainly on to the corner. Playing it to the corner. Probably screw back for the green or brown. Doesn't leave anything easy for Graeme Dott then. If he should miss.
Now this is the kind of pot that Hawkins has made his stock in trade.
Yes, but lots of pressure on it. He knows if it goes in, he's every chance of winning. But you're dead right there, Phil.
1.
It's a shot that you would fancy by Hawkins to pot. Clean as a whistle. And what a chance now.
Let me tell you, Mark Selby in amongst the balls on the other table. Hawkins in amongst the balls here, in prime position. Traditionally, this has been a day over the course of Crucible history where, quite often, not much snooker is played. 15 years ago, there was no evening session at all, you know, on the Monday of the second week. Both matches finished a session early.
$14. Foul.
Well, I winced then. I thought that might be coming through the TV screen right at me.
Well, what a chance for Graeme Dott.
One.
Just what the doctor ordered.
8. 9. $16.
Just come far enough for the red to the middle. But not far enough
70.
to leave him straight on the blue.
$22.
Yeah, he knew he'd hit it too hard.
23.
Too much stun in the cue ball. And
Graeme
he's
Dott,
disappointed
23.
with that.
In just a few moments' time, you're going to hear a loud and sustained cheer from the other table because Mark Selby is over the line. He's just in the process of tidying up a 13-6 win over Zhao Guodong.
Well, he might be forced into taking this red on down the left side of the table. The safety's just as difficult. If it goes in, he's on the black. And this is a real pressure shot for Graeme Dott. If he misses this, could be all over. This has to go in. And he caught that near knuckle. Tough shots, those.
To me, Joe looks demoralised. I think subconsciously he's accepted his fate.
Well, I don't think we're going to be far behind them, Phil. Great chance now for Hawkins to seal frame a match.
8. 9.
Yes, Selby finished off with a break of 60. He now awaits Robertson or Fu. And you're right, Joe, in just a few moments' time, that man's fate could be
16.
sealed. And 7/8 of the quarter-final jigsaw could be affixed.
17.
Played it with just the right amount of left-hand side on the cue ball to finish nicely on these two reds.
24. 25.
He is going to need one of those safe reds on the cushion, and he hasn't left the angle on this red.
32.
I don't think he's left the angle on the red to knock one of the reds out. I'm pretty sure that's what he tried to do. leave an angle to develop one of the reds, and he might have just a little angle there. Doesn't like it. He was thinking of playing the cannon to the red just below the pink.
$33.
It doesn't matter your lead at the Crucible. There's always
40.
lingering doubt. When he went to bed last night, I'm sure Hawkins would have been realising work still needed to be done. He potted some really good balls in the first frame today, played a tight frame, made 97 in the second frame of the afternoon after cracking in a red from distance. And now he's on the threshold of progress.
He wasn't sure. Tried to leave an angle on the blue to try and develop one of these reds. So 30 points, the difference. I don't think the double's on.
46.
Sorry, 35 points, the difference. If the double is on, he'd only need the red. Caught the pink.
Billy Hawkins, 46.
Well, there's a half chance of the snooker here if you can bring the red off the right side cushion, drop the cue ball in behind the brown. He might not be out of this game just yet. That's a good shot. Got the snooker. Be quite happy with that. The red does pot, but it's a tough one. So one shot away, Barry Hawkins, from moving into the quarter-final with a match against Stephen Maguire. And that will do. Graeme Dott has fought hard, but lost some very important frames. Frames that he could have won should have won.
Well, I think after a poor season, Graeme Dott must take a lot of heart from the fact that in the first round,
5.
he overcame Ali Carter. In this match, though, Joe's right. Found it impossible to overcome
6.
the loss of 3 or 4 crunch frames that could have gone either way.
Ten. Twelve. Final match.
On his first 5 appearances at the Crucible, Barry Hawkins didn't survive the first round. But now, for the 5th consecutive season, he's into the quarterfinals. Graeme Dott waves goodbye to the audience. Barry Hawkins leaves a winner.